Welcome to the Young Crone's Cafe, where you can get a magic brew full of all sorts of information, both witchy and practical.
Grab a cup of coffee and join us. I'm Elizabeth, a wordsmith.
And I'm Dave, a modern-day sage.
We are going to talk about various witchcraft and life topics from a slightly more mature perspective, at least most of the time.
Thanks for joining us.
Here's a little something extra from the Young Crone's Cafe to get you through to our next episode. It's all about the autumnal equinox that just happened. First of all, everyone, happy fall. Last week was the official start of fall on the 23rd at 9:03 p.m., even though it unofficially felt like it kicked off for many of us once we got through that Labor Day holiday a few weeks ago. And if you had kids, they went back to school and you felt like you had quiet again, at least a little bit for part of the day. And if you think back, summer solstice was technically the start of the dark half of the year with the imperceptible changes in light at first. We went from the peak of light at summer solstice, and then we added a little pinch more every day. And now the light has pulled back to being equal with dark, and we are heading even deeper into what we call the dark times of the year. The autumn equinox is actually a mirror of the spring equinox, because that is the time when we've come out of the dark time of the year and we begin to actually see more and more the changes as we move towards the peak of the light. However, it is one of those 2 days every year where we on the path acknowledge the importance of the ideal of balance in our lives. If you look at the entire solar cycle, these are the only 2 days of the year, the equinoxes, or equal times, when there's an equal amount of daylight and nightlight, as we like to call it. When you think about it, it can serve as a reminder of the importance of balance. What we actually work for when we talk about that ideal of balance is becoming aware sooner when we are starting to swing wildly out of balance in some area of our lives, so we can pull back from that cliff edge instead of careening off like the cartoons. If you remember the old Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, where he would be out in air over the cliff and then suddenly plummet downwards and smack into the bottom. And you can keep in mind, too, that we can be in balance in some areas of our life and managing really well, and completely off balance in others all at the same time, because we are many individual parts and we have many areas of our lives where balance can be important sometimes. Another thing to keep in mind is that this time of year, our own personal focus may be switching even more from outward projects, those things we've been doing and making and creating all during the light half of the year, to that more of an inward focus, a more contemplative or knowledge-based types of work, which are completely normal for the energy cycle of the year itself. It is that time to begin considering, what do we want to study about? Where we live, we actually experience winter weather, so that you want to stay indoors and keep as warm as possible. Think about sitting around a crackling fire if you're actually lucky enough to live in a house with a fireplace, and read those books and learn those things that require us just to sit and think. So whether you celebrated the equinox or not last week, or whether you live in an area where leaves are starting to change and the weather is starting to have more of a hint of chill to it, reminding us of the upcoming winter, have a blessed equinox season, and take a minute today, if you can, to take a look at where you are in balance in your life and celebrate that, and see if you're heading for any cliffs, and then take a look at why, and if there's anything you can do to pull back just a little bit from the edge to make that landing just a little bit easier. Until next time, may you find mirth and reverence in all things.
So will it be.